creatures, the Canadian geese, that live behind the walls with us. It was a contentious relationship between the geese and the people in the population because actually it wasn't the geese that was invading our space. Geese probably was living there for hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years, and they built a prison on their habitat. And so anyway, especially when the mothers laid the eggs, it was a different type of genetics kicked into the male, and they became the consummate fathers. And they would just chase you as you're jogging around the track the whole nine. But anyway, these are 5 lessons from the geese that I think is relevant to us as a community moving forward. And they go like this. Fact 1, as each goose flaps its wings, it creates an uplift for the birds that follow. By flying in a V formation, the whole flock adds 71% greater flying range than if each bird flew alone. The lesson? People who share a common direction and sense of community can get where they're going quicker and easier because they're traveling on the thrust of one another. Fact 2, as a goose falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the drag and resistance of flying alone. It quickly moves back into the formation to take advantage of the lifting power of the bird immediately in front of it. The lesson: if we have as much sense as a goose, we stay in formation with those heading where we want to go. We're willing to accept their help and offer our help to others. Fact 3, when the lead goose tires, it moves to the back of the formation and another goose flies to the point position. The lesson: it pays to take turns doing the hard tasks and sharing leadership. As with geese, people are interdependent on each other's skills, capabilities, and unique arrangements of gifts, talents, and resources. Fact 4, the geese flying in formation honk, 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 to encourage those up front to keep up their speed. The lesson: we need to make sure our honking is encouraging. In groups where there is encouragement, productivity is much greater. The power of encouragement, that is, to stand by one's own heart and core values and encourage the heart and core values of others, is the quality of honking we seek. And fact 5, when the goose gets sick, wounded, or shot down, 2 geese drop out of formation and follow it down to help and protect it. I didn't know that. They stay with it until it dies, and then, or is able to fly again, and then they launch out with another formation or catch up with the larger flock. The lesson: if we have as much sense as a geese, or as geese, we stand by each other in difficult times as well as when we're strong. All right? And so moving forward, as we step out of this room today and go back into whatever segments and sectors that we operate in, to keep in mind what it takes, even though we were behind 40-foot high concrete walls, cut off from nature, virtually couldn't even see trees, nature, God, the universal life force, however we choose to understand things, didn't leave us without a beautiful example in the form of these magnificent creatures on how to maintain a family, run an organization, keep a team together, you dig what I'm saying, and just work together. And we, perhaps, because human intellect has failed us dramatically, matter of fact, has us looking in the face of the 5th mass extinction, quite possibly, we might need to defer to another kind of intelligence, the intelligence of animals and the geese and nature, who knows, but it's about community. It's about building relationships, and that's what Ubuntu is about, and that's what justice is about. Justice is not some system over here that you go to come and to arbitrate our infractions and that happen between us. Justice is how we live as a community with each other. Justice is not responsive, it's initiative. It doesn't only come after violence and victimization. Justice precedes, it sets the foundation for the relationship. The way we read each other and greet each other, you dig what I'm saying? And that's justice. Justice has to be about creating a culture and creating an environment that reduces the likelihood of violent tendencies. You dig what I'm saying? It doesn't only come after. We got to think about now, how do we get ahead of this because our responsibility is to the people that harm and victimization hasn't happened to yet. Because right now, as we sitting in this room, we know that somewhere violence is taking place, about to take place. Somebody putting the bullet in the gun. Somebody probably just shot somebody. Is tucking the body away somewhere. We're going to talk raw as a family. We know that this is how this go down. We don't know how it's going to go down, but we know when we go later on tonight at 11 o'clock, we turn on the news, we will see it. We will see it in some shape, form, or another. And we're going to be like, damn, we talked about this here today. How do we reduce that kind of stuff? And we can only do it as a community, like the Geese. So y'all have a blessed day, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Ghani.